This is a Gimme 5 show with Jay Walker and Tiffany. Yeah. You gon' have to give me 5 fingers on it right now. Wait until they see the strength and here to win. This Black College Live, I'ma need 5 on it.
What's up?
Yo,
what
the Sunshine State. Can I do it one time? Can
Okay,
I do it one time?
Go ahead.
It's my life in the sunshine.
Okay.
All right.
I liked it. FloridaClassic edition for Black College Live. Jay Walker, Tiffany Greene here with you outside Camping World Stadium, the tailgate area, because you know this is how this show started, in the tailgate section. So we had to go back to our roots,
Go back
Jay.
to our roots. Take it old school. And you can't do a classic without having a tailgate. And we've got a classic tailgate. We'll peep you at the game.
All right, so we have to get into some HBCU headlines, but first, we got to ask, are the Rattlers in the house? Let's give it up for the Florida A&M Rattlers.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Now, Bethune Cookman, where you at? The Wildcats, hail Wildcats.
Don't. Wildcats. Don't. Let's go. All right.
One of the best chants, no doubt, in Black college football. So
Yes.
when we talk about what's happening, North Carolina Central, congratulations to Trey Oliver and the crew out of Durham, North Carolina, clinching their spot in this year's Cricket Celebration Bowl and winning the title in the MEAC for the first time in 6 years.
Absolutely. Great job. Quarterback Davius Richard will probably be the Offensive Player of the Year. We tell all the coaches, we're going to be in Atlanta. Trey Oliver took us up on it. He will join us in Atlanta. North Carolina Central, highly ranked team. They're going to be waiting for the winner of the SWAC.
Speaking of waiting, how about Jackson State? A perfect 10-0 this season. They are awaiting the winner out of the SWAC West, which is really up for grabs.
Wide open race out there, but whoever wins the SWAC West really don't matter because you're on your way to Jackson. That first weekend in December, and the Tigers will be ready, playing phenomenal football. Shador Sanders and Coach Prime trying to complete a perfect season, but they took care of business last week, and they will host the SWAC championship game.
All right, staying perfect all year long, the Benedict College Tigers winning their first ever SIAC championship over Tuskegee, but we got to give some D2 love. Virginia Union taking care of business in the CIAA, and how about Fayetteville State winning on a last-second field goal, all three going to the Division II playoffs.
Phenomenal job. Those 3 teams will represent HBCUs in Division II playoff. But let's say it again, the job that Chennis Berry did at Benedict College, fantastic job. Rising star. He's going to be on the short list to get some major jobs.
All right, speaking of lists, Jay, we have to dive into some of our favorite Florida Classic moments on the other side of the break, and of course, your HBCU power rankings as well. So come back with us to the City Beautiful, as they like to call it here in Orlando, Florida.
HBCU football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is back in Atlanta this December 17th. Join the celebration at Mercedes-Benz Stadium as the MEAC champion battles the SWAC champion with the championship trophy on the line. The Coca-Cola fan experience, smooth sounds of iconic marching bands, and championship football. The Cricket Celebration Bowl has it all. A champion will rise in Atlanta. Will you be there to witness it? For more information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right, y'all, now it's time for this week's Cricket Celebration Bowl Power Rankings. Coming in at number 5, I'm going with Prairie View A&M. Bubba McDowell's team still controls their own destiny, and if they win this weekend, they have an opportunity to advance to the SWAC championship. In at number 4, we haven't said this in a long time, but Aggie Pride, North Carolina A&T is back in the top 5 with an opportunity to win the Big South championship with the victory this weekend. At number 3, it's Trey Oliver and the North Carolina Central Eagles. They've clinched the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Championship, and they will be in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. At number 2, Rattlers strike, and they strike again. The number 2 team in all of HBCU football, Willie Simmons, has the Rattlers in contention for an FCS playoff spot. And number 1, it's like a broken record. They're trying to go over and over again. Jackson State University, Coach Prime, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, all the star powers of the Tigers, they're the #1 team in HBCU football. And not quite making it on the bubble, it's the Tigers of Benedict College. We'll see what they do in postseason play. That's what we got coming up on Black College Live Power 5 rankings.
All right, time now to give it up for our Star Watch. Not just a player of the week, but how about a unit of the week? Give it up for Morgan State's defense, who scored 2 touchdowns. In addition to that, they were able to record 9 sacks and hold the Delaware State Hornets to 81 yards of total offense, y'all, and that convincing win. Give it up for Morgan State.
It's a new day of Bethune-Cookman University's changing landscape of bold leadership in business, education, research, and STEM, creating innovative ways for new Wildcats to change the world. Get ready, the tide is rising. It's time for you to catch the next wave in higher education at Bethune-Cookman University.
In 1920, an athletic league was formed and slowly became one of the leading sports associations in the world of collegiate athletics, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Today, the SWAC is looking towards the next century, growing, supporting, and transforming our intercollegiate sports activities for student athletes and promoting academic excellence. Each SWAC member institution represents a high level of integrity and sportsmanship. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Well, this Florida Classic matchup, very important for the 2 in-state rivals between Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman, meeting for the first time in 1925. But then the great idea of Hansel Tukes, the former FAMU athletic director at the time, and Tank Johnson, who was the athletic director at Bethune-Cookman, decided, hey, the modern-day version of the Florida Classic was born in 1978, now celebrating its 25th year in Orlando, Florida. A great one indeed, Jay. And as we think back to some of those wonderful Florida Classic moments, I obviously had the opportunity to grow up going to them when they were in Tampa, Florida before they moved here. You've had the opportunity to call them. So think back to maybe 1 or 2 of your favorite Classic moments.
Oh, wow. I think it starts with the bands. I always think about the bands. 2 of the best bands in all of HBCU football will be in this stadium. And I remember one year, the Rattlers don't here, but I saw Bethune-Cookman turn it out. They had a white horse walk on the field, go in circles, started playing the song. I think the time when the streak was broken, when Florida A&M finally broke the 9 or 10-year losing streak they had to Bethune-Cookman last year to make it to the playoffs. That was a great moment for the Rattlers there. And also think about all the heartbreak plays. The 99-yard run for Bethune-Cookman to eliminate Florida A&M from going to the Cricket Celebration Bowl, and then couple interceptions thrown by Ryan Stanley stick out as well, but the star power too. Rasheem Mathis, I've seen him play. Nick Collins, I've seen them play. All the great ones. Philip Sylvester was really good in this Classic, so many memories over the years.
No doubt. For me, it's a personal one. My husband and I took the field as the king and queen of orange and green, and so we did a little rendition on the field with the Marching 100. And then my grandparents live right up the street. We used to walk here every single year, and the camaraderie of Wildcats and Rattlers coming together and just uniting, loving on each other outside of the game. It was a beautiful thing to see, and it continues to this day. And look, the coaches know just how important this game is and what it means. And so both Coach Willie Simmons and Terry Sims talk about the importance of the Florida Classic.
It takes much motivation to get them going this week, right? Most of these guys are from the state, so they grew up hearing about the Classic. A lot of these guys grew up watching the Florida Classic, and so they know what this game is all about, right? So again, not a lot of rah-rah speeches you need this week. We just got to make sure that we manage our emotions, that we prepare to go in and execute at a high level on Saturday, and show that we're a better football team. And that's what this team is committed to doing. And we got a couple of more days to make sure that that's in place, so we can go out and play our best ball Saturday at 2:30.
To give our fans a great show, to put a product on the field that our fans can be proud of. We want to not turn the ball over, tackle, make the plays we're supposed to make, and end up getting back on the winning side of this Florida Classic.
Football and family legacy runs deep at the Florida Classic, and as our Black College Live reporter Jaden Sori tells us, the Wyatt family is synonymous with the Wildcat family.
3 generations of BCU Wildcats on the gridiron. The Wyatt family is paving a legacy of service, education, and athleticism right here at BCU. And the youngest of the Wyatt men is following in the footsteps of his father and his grandfather. Andreas Wyatt, a defensive back on the football team, is the youngest of his family to suit up for the Wildcats. But he's not always bragging about the athletic abilities his family comes from.
It was different. Like, everybody, even now, calls me Wyatt, and it's one of the things I don't like to be called, because I always felt like I didn't have an identity. Like, that was always the hardest thing for me growing up, was walking in that shadow. Like, I felt like I was always running away from a shadow.
Living up to the legacy of your parents is a tall task to ask for any child. And while Andreas looks to his family for inspiration, that's not the driving factor for him to be a successful defensive back.
I think that's the real reason I came to Cookman, though, was to change the whole perspective of my granddad, my dad. It was to make it about me. Because like my whole life I ran away from the shadow. So now I came to the shadow to make the spotlight on me. So I think me coming here was to make it my own way, go out on my own terms, and not just being the grandfather or the grandson or the son of a legacy, and make my own legacy.
I am Jaden Sori, reporting for Bethune-Cookman University.
Jay, so impressive. 3 generations at Bethune-Cookman.
Absolutely. Coach Shine's legacy continues. That's football, but we're having a social event going on here. And you can't do classic without, come on in here. You know, we always give it up for our Greeks, our sororities and fraternities representing. Look what you got here. We got the Noops in the house. We got some AKAs. We got some Qs in the house here.
AKAs,
y'all,
come
go
on
ahead.
through
This is
here.
the time where y'all can give it up.
Wait a minute. The Qs, look, November 17th. Was their Founders Day, so they're celebrating
happy Founders Day to y'all.
Week.
Thank you very much. I'm so tired of this. Why do Qs come on the show and not bark? Let me hear you bark. Okay, thank you. And why do AKAs come on here and not ski-wee?
Well, when you see each other, that's how you
Lead
do
by
it.
example.
Here we go. My voice right now.
All right, there we go. That's what we're talking about here. You know, socially, we bring it to you here on Black College Live. We got so much more coming up on the other side.
From the highest of 7 hills to the world stage, Rattlers are making their mark. Find your passion and make your mark. You can get there from Florida A&M University.
This is where the formula ends and the magic begins. We take the mold, shake the mold, and break the mold. From late nights in the gym to later nights in the library, we grind. Because if you think greatness is a game, think again. Here, nothing shines unless we all do.
All right, Jay, I was just so curious that we were standing outside the RVs and was like, let's come inside. Let's see.
You got to, and people don't realize this is not camping, this is glamping, as they call it, part of that RV lifestyle.
All right, so then you have to tell me, what are the essentials inside an RV? What do you have to take with you?
Well, one, you got to make sure you got power, for the sure. You got to have some get loose juice. So I call it get loose juice there. Have your fire stick, have your grill. You use the inside just to heat up stuff, but you do the cooking outside, and you got to have a big old TV to watch the game.
All right, lovely. So now that you've given me all the insights,
yeah,
gotta get back to work.
Oh man, back to work. All right.
Hey, yo, Jay Walk, that RV was nice.
Oh, that's what that camping life's about. I'm about that RV life too. You know that.
Oh yeah, special shout out to Rick Kinsey for letting us walk through his camper. All right, Jay, the crowd has been prepped.
Yeah.
They're ready. Because this is the segment that they are waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to give it up for Jay's Gimme 5.
All right now, folks. Some of y'all going to like me. Some of y'all going to be all right with me, all right? So how about this? This week, I'm going to get it started. I'm going with the top 5 HBCU bands. Top 5 HBCU bands. All right, coming in at number 5, y'all don't know about it, but it's a group called the Ocean of Soul, Texas Southern University at number 5. Y'all respect that. Number 4, the most improved band, Tiffany, most improved band, the Sonic Boom of the South from Jackson State University. They come in at number 4. At number 3, how they come out, Tiff? How they take the field?
Who we talking about?
The Rattlers, Florida A&M. Some of y'all would like that.
But wait a minute, that was kind of low, right?
Number two, down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they call them the Human Jukebox. They're the number 2 band in HBCU. And the number 1 HBCU band that you're going to hear from tomorrow game day is don't do that. Wildcats. The Bethune-Cookman
it don't even look
Wildcats are the number 1 band in HBCU landscape. Coming in, not quite making the list.
Jay.
On the bubble, I've got the aristocrat of bands of Tennessee State University.
They just
That's
got
my
Grammy nominated, by the way. So
give me Tiff's 2 cents. What you got?
So the folks around here
quick.
in this RV saying you gotta go because Florida A&M's Marching 100 is number 1. But if I tune in with my 2 cents, I have to give it up for the Marching Storm of Prairie View A&M. I like what they have going on. And how about the Band of Distinction from Benedict College? They also come in for Tiff's 2 cents.
Of course, and of course, surprise, surprise, she chose Florida A&M. Okay, but can we talk about the game?
Clear.
Can we talk about a game? We got a football game
no doubt.
That's getting ready to take place.
Okay, so break it down. The X's and O's, Jay.
Well, here's the reason. Everybody says that FAMU should run away with this football game. FAMU is the number 2 ranked team in HBCU football, as you saw earlier. They win. They've got a quarterback. They got a passing game. Isaiah Land. They have all the star power. Bethune-Cookman has being Bethune-Cookman. If they do nothing else, they knew early on in the season they were playing for 1 game on their schedule. And that game they were playing for was to knock off Florida A&M in the Florida Classic. So that being the case, we know that we're going to call the action.
Indeed.
And we know who you want to win the game. I said it. You know she wants to win the game.
I'm impartial when I call the game, by the way.
I think a lot of people in the HBCU landscape would like to see Florida A&M win this game so they have a chance to play in the playoff. But since we're calling the game, we can't do it. Bring in Coach Chef.
Coach Chef, what's up?
Coach
Come
Chef,
on
what's
in
up?
here.
What's
Come
up?
on in here.
Give us a rundown. What we got here? Oh,
we
got some big boy sausages.
Big boy sausage.
I'm going to take a bite now.
Big boy sausages and some Tampa chicken.
What? Some Tampa chicken. That's right. Represent the 813. Where you at?
What is Tampa chicken? What's Tampa chicken, Tim?
You got to ask Big Rick right here, all the way from Tampa.
He hooked it up. He hooked it up.
I'm going to hook it up right now, too.
All right. So, Coach Chef, your prediction for the Florida Classic 2022.
I tell you, I love some Terry Sims, head coach at Bethune-Cookman. That's my guy. But it's not about love. It's not about love. Neil.
Oh, he's draped in orange.
FAMU. I got to go with FAMU. They're all right.
Good pick. Good pick, Coach Chef. I have to say that I agree with you. Meanwhile, the fans here, the tailgating, the atmosphere, it only picks up and gets better. One of the best HBCU classics, one of the largest attended HBCU classics, the Florida Classic here in Orlando,
Thank
Florida.
y'all did a great
Thank you
job
so much.
representing.
We appreciate you.
Here on
Give
Black
it up
College
for
Live.
Black College Live. We out.
Yeah. This is the Gimme 5 show with Jay Walker and Tiffany. Yeah. You gon' have to give me 5 fingers on it right now. Wait until they see the strength and hear the win. It's Black College Live, I'ma need 5 on it. If they put overtime on it, lights out. You know how I run, this ain't for fun.